President Biden could be facing his own legal concerns and worries as investigations into his family's business dealings are heating up. Fox News' Jackie Heinrich, she's live at the White House with the story. Jackie.
Hey, Liz. Well, on the Trump news, President Biden and the White House are trying to make clear, shut down any speculation that they coordinated at all with the Justice Department on this in the indictment of Biden's predecessor and right now likely 2024 political opponent. They told reporters that they found out about the indictment just like everybody else through media reports. They had no advanced knowledge of it. And the president just said in North Carolina a short while ago that he is staying far away from the attorney general on this.
President Biden, have you spoken to Attorney General Merrick Garland yet?
I have not spoken to him at all. I'm not going to speak to him. No comment on that.
Meantime, the president's critics continuing to hammer Biden on bribery allegations described in an FBI 1023 form that House Oversight Republicans were allowed to see yesterday. A confidential FBI source alleged a Burisma executive paid the Bidens to gain U.S. oil rights, that money going to Hunter Biden and indirectly to the big guy, who many understand to be the president, using shell companies. A source familiar with that document tells Fox, to be clear, the document does not say Joe Biden received any payments. But Republicans want to see if there's any money trail, and Democrats, meantime, are not moved by the fact that this document is still part of an active investigation in Delaware because that probe relates only to Hunter Biden.
One of the reasons that I'm encouraging the Oversight Committee is to subpoena more bank records so we can see if this is true or if it's not. One of the things in the document, the Ukrainian executives were bragging about the number of shell companies, that it would take a decade to prove it out, to be able to show where the money went, because they were purposely trying to hide the source of the funds.
The matter in Delaware is about Hunter Biden. It's not about the President of the United States.
Biden said yesterday the bribery allegations against him are a bunch of malarkey, Liz.
Got it. Jackie, thank you so much. Joining us now from House Oversight, Congressman Byron Donalds and former FBI Special Agent John Iannarelli. So good to see you both. Congressman, is it really too coincidental that the Trump indictment came on the same day that you and members of House Oversight read that FBI document alleging Vice President Biden engaged in bribery?
Oh, I definitely think it's coincidental. I think this is done on purpose. And let's be very clear, the FBI document, which I was able to review, clearly demonstrates that the human source was in contact with somebody at Burisma. They were paying Hunter Biden, who, by the way, they said several times is stupid. And the entire purpose of paying Hunter Biden and also paying Joe Biden is so that Joe Biden would use his office to get the Ukrainian government to fire the prosecutor looking into Burisma. Joe Biden is actually on tape bragging about getting that prosecutor fired. So that's why I believe that document should be out for the public to see, so that they can actually see what's going on. This is a coincidence, in my opinion.
Were you shocked by what you read?
I was very shocked, but I was not surprised. But because when you put that in context with the other information we've been unveiling during our investigation on the Oversight Committee, what it continues to demonstrate is a web of corruption surrounding Joe Biden that his son Hunter and his brother Jim are definitely involved with.
Okay, so to you, John, the new development is that the FBI's highly credible source detailed multiple meetings and conversation this person had with this top Burisma executive over the course of several years, starting in 2015. So the FBI has known about this for at least 8 years, John. And, there was also this report that Hunter Biden advised Burisma to buy a U.S.-based oil and gas company, and that the Burisma executive felt that they had to pay the Bidens to keep them sort of on, as in their side of the aisle, because they basically were using it as a reference. It appeared to reference a kind of retainer Burisma was paying to the Bidens.
You're right, Liz. It does not look good. However, let's remember, this is source information that hasn't been vetted. While the source is credible, is the person the source is getting the information from equally credible? All that has to be looked at before any further action is going to be taken, and it should be looked at.
So what do you think of what John just said, Congressman? Because, the other issue, too, is that they buried the cash flow through so many different bank accounts and shell companies that the informant or the Burisma executive, I think the Burisma executive is reportedly saying it would take at least 10 years to figure out what the Biden family did in burying the cash flows from overseas.
Look, I think the point John makes is a very good point, but it's also a very damning point for the FBI and in respects for the Department of Justice. If you've had this information since 2015, there are several documents that speak to this. We already know that there are financial records that the Department of Treasury has about a lot of these business dealings surrounding Hunter Biden and Jim Biden. And we all know the only reason people even give them a red cent is because of Joe Biden's position in our government. If you know this and nobody looks into this, it reeks of the hypocrisy at the FBI and the Department of Justice, where they will literally take phony information from Hillary Clinton to start the Trump-Russia collusion scandal saga. But then this information comes forward and they do nothing.
Okay.
They put it in a box. It's disgusting.
John, final word.
I couldn't agree more, but the problem is the FBI answers to DOJ. DOJ leads the way and authorizes everything that the FBI does. We need DOJ to take steps and let the FBI do its job.
Got it. Congressman Donalds, John Iannarelli, thank you so much for joining us. Have a good weekend.